Okay. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I am Puan Hilwana, SISC Plus Bahasa from TPD Petaling Utama. Welcome to Siri Cerdik Petama for SPM 2022. Today's slot will be for English 1119 paper 2, which is your writing paper. Before we start, I would like to introduce important individuals who are involved in today's slot. First of all, we have the presenters, Mr. Eugene McMorris.
Hello.
Okay, Mr. Eugene is from SMK Taman C. We also have Cik Najima Ahmad Bashir.
Hello.
Okay, Cik Najima is from SMK Lelaki Bukit Bintang. We also have two facilitators, Puan Jasmi Banaja, anak perempuan Balaraman.
Hi everyone.
Okay. And Puan Nazalida binti Idris.
Hi everyone.
Okay. They are from SMK Bandar Seri Damansara 2. Okay. Other than these teachers, we also have a few pupils from SMK Taman C and also SMK Lelaki Bukit Bintang. Okay, I will introduce the SMK Taman C pupils. Damien Lau Junyi. Damien, say
Hello.
hi. Okay, that's Damien. And then we also have Lee Kalfa.
Hi everyone.
Hi. Okay, and we have Andrew Rahul.
Hello.
We have Ong Fu Min.
Hi everyone.
Hi. All right. And from the SMK Lelaki Bukit Bintang, we have Amirun Hakim.
Hi.
Yeah, hi. We have Po Jun Yao.
Hello.
Okay. Ruhan Raj.
Hi everyone.
Okay. And also Tanishwaran, anak lelaki Raja Singham.
Hello everyone.
Okay. So today, all of us, we will share tips to other candidates of how you can improve or how you can tackle your SPM 1119 paper 2. Okay. Without further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Eugene and Ms. Najima to carry on with the session.
Thank you very much, Madam Hilwana. A very good afternoon to all present today.
Good afternoon.
So today is a sharing session. Our focus is not on how to write an essay, but on how to score marks on what you write. Okay? And the key word is focus. So I would suggest to everyone present, get your notepads ready, your pens, or get your phones ready, your cameras to snap pictures or whatever is presented or whatever is shared by the teachers and students today. Okay. What do you see here? Anyone?
A heart pulse.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Damien. Anyone else has a different interpretation of this?
A pulse beat.
Okay, thank you. Yes, it's a pulse beat and it's moving. It's alive. The same goes for our English language paper. When you write, you must make sure it comes alive. And the only way you can make sure that your writing comes alive if you follow the Marcus code C, CA, O, and L. By now, I'm sure all of you must know what is C, CA, O, and L. Now, if you're not sure, don't worry. We still have time to understand this, okay? Now, if you fail to understand the C, CA, O, and L for the three parts of the writing paper, sad to say, you will not get good marks, even though you have written a very, very long essay. Okay. Yes, you will not get good marks. So today we're going to find out how to find these good marks, good points, understand these good points to get good marks. Okay. Let's find out what you know or what your teacher have told you about C, CA, O, and L. I would like to invite Fumin. Fumin, can you share with us your understanding of the letter C in the marking scheme?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Eugene. Contents are three main points that we should be able to spot, as it is the key fundamentals to scoring in our exam.
Okay, so C stands for content. Thank you, Fumin. Okay. Would like to share more, Fumin?
Uh, 5 full marks will be given for the points answered correctly. 3 marks for 2 points and 1 mark for 1 point. Not having answered all 3 points is crucial for getting a higher mark.
Okay, so thank you, Fumin. So Fumin has mentioned something very, very important. Content means you have to answer 3 questions or 3 points. Now, if you manage to answer all the 3 questions or the points, you get 5 marks for content. But if you only manage to answer 2 questions out of the 3, you get 3 marks. But if you only manage 1, you only get 1 mark. Okay? Now, let's take a look to get a clearer picture. This is a sample of an email part 1 question. Okay? I will read it very, very quickly. You received an email from your best friend Peter, who wants your opinion on something. Hi, I've been asked to choose a musical instrument for my school marching band, but I can't decide which musical instrument to choose. Now look at the 3 words, 3 phrases highlighted. Which musical instrument do you think I should choose? That is content 1. Why do you think it's suitable for me? Content 2. What can I learn from joining a marching band? Content 3. So, Fumin, is it important to highlight the 3 content points there?
Yes, it is very important to highlight, so it makes it you'll have an easier understanding of how to start the essay.
Wonderful. Yes. Okay. Okay. For question part 2 and part 3, the questions may be asked in point form, like what you see projected now. In your essay, you should write about dot 1, an act of kindness you experience. Dot 2, why we must be kind to others. Dot 3, how to encourage people to be kind. Meaning, in your essay, you must make sure that you have answered all these 3. If you answered all these 3 correctly, you can get 5 marks for content. It's very, very easy to get marks for content. Okay? Okay. So now, thank you, Fumin. Let's move on to the next letter, CA. I'd like to invite Andrew to explain to everyone, what do you understand by CA?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Jean. CA stands for Communicative Achievement. There are 3 main points in CA, which are genre, elaboration, and neatness. Genre means writing in the correct format. This would mean that if the question asks for it to be answered in the form of an email, then an email it shall be. Likewise, if it's an article or review. Moving on to elaboration, as my friend Fumin mentioned earlier in content, elaboration means elaborating on the 3 points or questions asked in the question paper itself. Lastly, neatness. This basically means no scribbles and overall untidiness when writing on the question paper.
Thank you, Andrew. Perfect answer. Okay. Just to move on, Let's look at this question. I posed this question just now. Okay, if you heard this, let's see how it's done. So this is an answer, a reply. If you notice, the instrument you choose is a flute. And there's an explanation after that. Very short explanation. A flute is easy, light, and easy to carry. Moreover, it is suitable for you since you can play the recorder, and this is quite similar to it. By joining a marching band, you can learn to work in a team. In addition to that, you can make new friends. So CA means you need to elaborate on the point you put. Okay, very good. Okay, thank you, Andrew, for sharing the CA. Let's move on to O. Can I ask Kyle? Kyle, please share your thoughts on O.
Thank you, Mr. Eugene. O stands for organization, and it can be broken down into 4 subcategories, which are linkers, cohesive devices, paragraphing, and punctuation. Linkers integrates information between sentences in a text. For example, for, and, not, but, and others. While cohesive devices are stronger linkers that improve the flow of an essay. Examples of cohesive devices are furthermore, moreover. As for opposition, it will be however. Paragraphing makes a text easier to read by breaking up into segments. Additionally, it helps separate key points. Lastly, punctuation fills our text with silent indentation that allows us to emphasize our sentences by adding commas, periods, question marks, and exclamation point.
Okay, thank you. So, dear SPM candidates, let's recap. O in your writing is very, very important because the examiner will be looking at 4 key parts there, 4 key points. You must have linkers, you must have cohesive devices, you must write in paragraphs, and there must be correct punctuation marks. Okay, for those of you who are not sure of what linkers to do, take out your camera now, snap a picture. These are some examples of linkers, and a good way to remember is fanboys. You can use these words. Of course, there are other linkers too. Okay, have you taken the picture? Okay, very good. Okay, and for cohesive devices are stronger linking words. Okay, so these are some examples of cohesive devices which you can use in your writing. Okay, snap a picture if you want to, or scribble down whichever words you want to take down. Okay, and then paragraphs, very, very important. Okay, and we will explain later on for each part of the exam, part 1, part 2, part 3, we need to focus on how many paragraphs to put down. Okay, and finally, punctuation marks. So one very important point of punctuation is don't write your too long sentences. Keep it short and simple, okay? And you add in commas or full stops, okay? So these are some examples of punctuations, if you're not sure, okay? I'm sure you've learned to use punctuations from primary school. Just to recap, okay? These are very, very important. Okay, let's move on to the last part of the pulse beat there, the L. Can I ask Damien? Thank you, Carl, for just now, okay? Damien.
Thank you, Mr. Eugene. Now, L stands for language, and in order to get full marks for the language category, we just need to make sure that we do not make any grammatical and spelling errors. Additionally, we can also use a range of vocabulary to impress our examiners. A good example would be to say, let's say, if I wanted to write the classroom was dirty, we could say the classroom was filthy. Now, personally, I use a lot of these in my own essays, but do you guys use these?
Anyone users want to share some vocabulary words you use? Please share now.
I use the word lofty very often in my essay.
Okay. What's a similar meaning to that?
Lofty means an imposing height.
Okay. So what Damien means here is when you use this kind of vocabulary, you're using something which is different from what is usually
I had to.
used.
Shut up, bro. Real quick. Oh.
Okay, fine. Damien, you have anything else to add?
Yeah, of course. I would like to say that it's also worth mentioning that the use of short forms, sorry about the background noise, the use of short forms such as don't or would've are not recommended in part 2 and part 3. However, it is perfectly fine to use them in part 1.
Perfect answer, Damien. Yes, you can use short forms in your email, but try not to use them in part 2 and part 3 unless you're writing a story. Then it's fine to use it there. Okay. Okay, anything else, Damien?
Okay, Mr. Eugene, maybe I want to add on.
Sure.
Okay, another common words that we use in our essays usually is the word important. Okay, we always hear eating healthily is important, exercise is important. So students, I want to ask you, is there any better words to replace the word important? Anyone can come up with other better words than important?
Put on your thinking caps.
Andrew, do you have your answer? Another better word for the word important. How about Damien?
I guess you could say, instead of using important, so like it's important to maintain a healthy diet, you could say like the key to maintaining a healthy diet. That also could mean important in a way.
Okay, maybe any okay, there's another there's two words that I always stress so that we can use the words to my students the word vital or essential. Okay, so instead of saying important, so we add on a new vocab. Okay, the word vital or essential. Okay.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Jasmine. Perfect. Yes. So everyone will learn 2 new words here. Yes.
One question from the chat, online chat. They ask whether significant can be used for important. Significant.
One, Jasmine?
Yes, significant also is another good word. Yes.
Yes,
can use that.
Thumbs up. Great. Okay, so good. We're getting feedback from the YouTube as well. Wonderful. Please post your questions and we will try and answer them as we can. Okay, Madam Jasmine, anything else? Can we move on?
Yes, you can move on.
Okay, thank you. So thank you, Madam Jasmine. Thank you, Damien. Okay, so now we have a better understanding of the pulse beat of the marking scheme. We know what is content, communicative achievement, organization, and language. Okay. Always remember, students, when you write, you must be friendly with the examiner's marking skills. You must know what they are looking for. It's very, very important. So you complement each other. You write, they look, it's what we want, you get the marks there. Okay? Okay. After knowing your C, CA, O, and L, just before you start writing, you need to do a simple checklist. Now, I'm not asking you to go and take your computer and start typing out or preparing. Very, very simple checklist. Okay, let's give you an example, a checklist for part 1 for the email. Okay, this is a simple checklist where you can write this at the top right-hand corner of the question paper. C, CA, O, and L. And I use very, very simple things. C, I put 1, 2, 3. CA, I put E, 1, 2, 3. O, I put L, 1 CD, 3 para, and L. Now, what does it mean? It's to remind me when I'm writing that when I'm writing an email, I must have 3 content points there, as what I showed you earlier and the students explained to you. As you answer the question, once you put the first content point, you put a self-tick. I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. CA, I put that E, 1, 2, 3. E means elaborate on point 1. elaborate on point 2, and elaborate on point 3. Okay? Under O, organization, L means I must have linkers. 1 CD. Yes, I need at least one cohesive device. That's all they're asking for in part 1 for email. At least one cohesive device. And 3 para means I must write my email in 3 paragraphs. Language, as what Ms. Jasmine and Damien explained to you just now, use good language. It doesn't have to be very high-flying language, but basic, simple language is enough for your email. Okay? Anyone wants to add anything to this? If not, let me move on. Let's look at this sample. Okay, I showed you the question just now. Look at the top right-hand corner. That's where I've scribbled down my checklist. So when I'm going to write later on, I will refer to my checklist. Have I got my content 1, content 2, content 3? Have I elaborated on content 1, content 2, content 3? Have I got my linkers? I must put at least one cohesive device there. I must write in 3 paragraphs. Okay, so let's look at this. Okay, so first thing what we do is we highlight the 3 points given. Very, very important. So you don't forget what you're going to write about. This is the 3 content points here. And let's look at this reply, the reply letter here. If you notice, it is written in 3 paragraphs, 1, 2, and 3. So for email, this is what I would recommend you. The first paragraph, a simple greeting or how are you greeting like that. Very, very simple. The second paragraph is where you answer the 3 points, the 3 questions. Put it all in the second paragraph. And the third paragraph would be something very simple, just to end it off, hoping that your friend will like your suggestions. Okay, so let's have a look. Okay, so this is a reply. As you can see, the content, the instrument you should choose is a flute. He didn't stop there. Why? He explained, a flute is light and easy to carry. See, for email, KISS, keep it short and simple. Then you go on to the second one. Why is it suitable? Because you have learned to play the recorder, so it's easy for you. What are the benefits of joining a marching band? Okay, you can learn to work in a team. In addition, you can make new friends. Remember, very, very simple, because for an email, everything should be about how many words? Who can tell me? How many words for an email?
It should be in about 80 words.
Wonderful. Yes, 80 words, plus minus. Do you need to count and write the number of words at the bottom of the email?
No, you don't.
No, this is not a maths paper. So please do not write the number of words at the bottom of the paper. Just, you should know, because for email, very simple. What do they provide for you, Andrew, in an email? In the question paper, what do they provide?
They provide you with a template.
Wonderful. That's the answer I'm looking for. They provide you with a template, meaning you need to write your answer in that template and don't come out of it. 80 words is very, very little. This is about 80 words over here, 80 plus words here. So it's simple, okay? Okay, so let's move on. I've circled 2 words here. Who can tell me what are these 2 words circled?
Yeah,
These are
cohesive devices.
No, wonderful. I'm getting a lot of answers. Good. You know what you're talking about. Yes, cohesive devices. Now, for email, what is the minimum cohesive device you need? Please tell me. At least how many?
Just one.
Yeah, at least one. But if you put more, is it wrong to put more than one?
No.
No, it's not wrong. Yes, you're still fine. Okay, but make sure you write the correct cohesive device. Don't just memorize all these cohesive devices and just put it smack there. I've got 2 cohesive devices here, but when the teacher is marking your paper, oh no, this is the wrong cohesive device. Okay, very good. So in your checklist, good. You can tick, I've got my 3 contents, 1, 2, 3. I got my CA. I've got my linkers. I got my cohesive device. I have 3 paragraphs. You're ready. You're ready. And how long should you take to complete an essay like this?
I would say roughly around 20 minutes.
Yes, very good. Now, even though your exam says 111 paper 2, you have 1.5 hours to answer 3 questions. For part 1, use 15 minutes. Around 15 minutes is enough. We will save the rest for part 3, which is longer. Great. Thank you, guys. You're on the right track for SPM. Very happy. Okay. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so now let's have a quick summary about part 1. A quick summary, okay? Okay. Focus on time. As we mentioned just now, Damien just mentioned, please spend plus minus 20 minutes to answer part 1. This includes reading the question, doing your short checklist there, and also putting all the points. Please do all your scribbling at the question area. When you write at the bottom, as what Andrew mentioned, neatness, make it very neat, okay? Focus 2, words, about 80 words, plus minus, meaning don't write too much, keep it short and simple, because question 1 is actually based on CAFR level A2. It's an A2 level, which is the Form 1 level, Form 1, Form 2 level. You don't have to write too much, okay? Focus 3 is the paragraph. So for an email, as what I showed you just now, it's best to write the email in 3 paragraphs. So the person marking your email can see all your points very clearly. Of course, you may argue with me and say, no, I can still write in 1 paragraph. Of course, you can write in 1 paragraph. It's not wrong. But what I'm saying is, if you want to get a good first impression, this is the first question you're answering from the examiner, make sure it's neat and tidy, and the examiner will be very happy to mark it, okay? Okay. So this is a sample email answer. Okay, very simple, in 3 paragraphs. Okay, short and simple. And let's go through it, guys. Okay, you notice 3 paragraphs is there. Content, 3 contents are already there. Explain carefully. Well done, explained. There's cohesive devices there. There's paragraphs. Language, okay, okay. There may be, Damien, I think you spotted something.
Yeah, you see, I noticed on the first line, there's a bit of an error. Receive you email. I believe it should be receive your.
Okay, very good point. Now, do you think this is an intentional mistake, or was it a slip? What do you think?
I think it was a slip. It's a very minor mistake.
Yes, so correct. So for part 1, a small mistake like this, don't worry, they're not going to minus your marks. I will still give 5 marks for language. Small error here, okay? So small error, don't worry, but don't make big errors with lots of spelling mistakes, okay? Thank you very much. Let's move on, okay? Okay, so in the nutshell, to get good marks, I would say good marks will be from 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20, because it's 20 marks for their paper. Make sure your 3 content points are elaborated. Okay, you have at least 1 cohesive device, you have linkers, 3 paragraphs, and your language is okay, can understand. The examiner doesn't have to scratch. He said, what is this child writing? No, okay, I can understand perfectly. So even though sometimes there are grammatical errors, don't worry. If the examiner, the marker can understand what you're writing, you are on the right track, okay? So that is all for part 1. Any questions from part 1? Anyone like to ask or raise? You can ask now. If not, I will pass the baton to Miss Najima, and she will focus on how to score in part 2. Okay, all to you, Cik Najima. Over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Cikgu Eugene. So now from part 1, we are now progressing to part 2, and part 2 is a guided writing, guided writing question. All right, for part 2, basically the task type will be a question that has 3 bullet points. And of course, the longer text, it is the longer, that means the requirement is for you to write longer than an email. All right. Mr. Eugene has stressed just now that for email it is 80 words. So now we are going to move on to 125 to 150 words, which is slightly longer than part 1, which is an email. And we are looking at 20 marks. Okay, this is the marking scale, which Mr. Eugene has explained just now, yeah? Okay, now, one of the important things that I would like to highlight today is, for reference, kindly go back to your textbook, okay? And if for this essay question, there is a reference for you in the English download textbook, page 183. So for all the questions, be it email, part 1, part 2, part 3, you can find the information that you need from the textbook. So I would like to highlight that to you today. Refer to your textbook, okay? And for essay, it is on page 183 of the textbook. Okay, and here I have come up with a checklist. Mr. Eugene has highlighted a checklist just now. So for part 2, this is a sample of a checklist that will be very useful for you to ensure that you score maximum marks for all categories, for content, for communicative achievement, for organization, and for language. So let's go through that one by one. If you look at content, one of the things that you have to ask yourself is, did I answer all the questions in the task? Okay, if they give you 3 bullets, did I actually go through the 3 bullets and did I answer the 3 bullets? And whatever I write, is it relevant to the question? All right. Sometimes we get carried away and we bring in facts that may not be relevant to the question. So you need to ask yourself as you write whether whatever you are writing is relevant to the question. And that would cover the content part. As for the communicative achievement, you have to ask yourself, did you use the right tone? Okay, we will discuss about tone later. The purpose, okay, if it is to inform, okay, let's say the purpose of the essay is to inform about a topic. So did you do that? Did you really inform the reader about that? Okay, whatever that you need to inform based on the 3 bullets. If you have done that, then the purpose of the task is achieved, right? And did you express your ideas clearly, okay? And is there an elaboration? Is there an example? Okay, elaboration and examples are crucial because the moment you elaborate and you give examples, it will clarify whatever statements that you have made, and you are supporting that particular statement. So please remember, try to elaborate. You don't have to elaborate in a lengthy way whereby you start giving a long elaboration, because you must remember there is a word limit to follow. But even then, try to elaborate. Maybe you elaborate one extra sentence to elaborate, and then you may, if you have examples, you may add on. But elaboration, I would say, is important. Okay, and of course, you have to also ask yourself, are you actually able to attract the reader's attention? Okay, so as you write, okay, try to ask yourself. Of course, whether you are able to make it interesting or not interesting, that is secondary. But if you're able to think through and try to use the right choice, you choose the right words, okay, and the structures are interesting and the way you write is interesting, then it would be able to capture the reader's attention. Okay, when we move on to the organization part, paragraphs are very crucial in part 2, okay, whereby you are expected to have at least 4. okay, to 5 paragraphs. Okay, and I showed you the textbook, download textbook. If you see the plan, it has 4 paragraphs. But is it okay to add one more paragraph? Yes, it's okay. But 4 to 5 would be just ideal and nice. Okay, and cohesive devices. Just now, Mr. Eugene mentioned for email, you need to have at least one. So now, as we move on to part 2, of course, you will be required to have more. So I would say 2 to 4. Okay, would be 2 to 3 would be an ideal number. If you can add one more, that would be fine. But don't add cohesive devices just because you memorize them. Okay, just because you have memorized a few, you start putting it in, although it doesn't fit into that sentence or that paragraph, then you will have a different problem. All right, so we want to avoid all that. Use cohesive devices that are relevant, that can help, okay, that can help that particular paragraph or that particular sentence to stand, okay, for the reader to understand well. All right, okay. Next thing you have to consider is, are the ideas in order? All right, that means first paragraph and second paragraph, they go well. Okay, that means when the readers read, there's a flow to it. All right, and the next thing you must remember is punctuation. Okay, your commas, your full stops, all that you need to be extra alert. Okay, when where do you need a full stop? You need to put a full stop there. If you need a comma, you need to put a comma there. Comma and full stops are crucial, and so are the other symbols. All right. As for language, okay, this is of course, all right, one of the most important ones, which is, did you choose the right words to express your ideas? All right. The word important and significant. Okay, they may sound the same, but one has a slightly different meaning. Not different totally, but there's a slight different meaning to it. So it all depends on what are you trying to say. All right, what are you trying to express in that particular line? All right, so the choice of words are important. And you must also ask yourself, am I using too many simple sentences, compound sentences, or do I have complex sentences? Now, when I say ask yourself, of course, some of us, we just write. It's okay, okay? Just write. But along the way, if you're able to see the difference between simple and compound and complex, that would be fine. But even if you are not able to do that, it's okay. Okay, just write the best in the best way possible. Okay, and of course, correct spelling lah. Simple words. Okay, simple errors can happen during exams. So what is important is, once you have completed that particular part or that particular paragraph, do go through it and do double check. If there are mistakes that you can rectify there and then, please do so. Don't wait until the end, because time may not be on your side by the time you finish all parts. Okay. All right. As I have been talking about cohesive devices, all right. So cohesive devices, it helps with the organization of the essay. All right. And here I have a few to help you. These are just a few. All right, just a few. There are quite a number out there, but I just put up a few here. All right, and they are important. And as I mentioned just now, don't memorize and just put them in just because you want to have a few cohesive devices there. Make sure that you know what it means. Okay, what it means, and when you know what it means, then of course you'll be able to use it better. All right. So here you have a few in front of you to add. Okay, if you want to add points, you want to add on. Okay, so these are some of the cohesive devices that you can use. So can I have a volunteer to give me a sentence for one of the cohesive devices here? Anyone? Is there anyone who can give me a sentence?
Can I have a try on this question? Sorry. I'm going to use moreover to make a sentence.
Okay, please, yes.
The whole report is badly written. Moreover, it's inaccurate.
Okay, thank you. All right, yes.
Yeah.
All right, so moreover. So the whole report is badly written. Moreover, it's inaccurate. So here there's an add-on to the first sentence. So you need to know, okay? You need to know what is the function of that particular cohesive device and how to use it correctly, all right? Okay, can I have one more for adding? Any volunteers?
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes.
For in addition, in addition,
Uh-huh.
he's a fitness instructor
Okay.
in addition to being a full-time student.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes. Okay, so if you can see both sentences, they are adding on information. Okay, they are adding on more information. Okay.
Teacher,
Yes, yes.
I have an example as well. Is
Yes,
it all right?
Yes, yes, please check.
So, all right. Kyle is the top of his class.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, he's also extremely active in all co-curriculum activities.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Very good. Yes. That is also another example. Yes. Very good. Yeah. Okay. That is for adding. Okay. That means you are adding on information. Next, you have sequencing. Sequencing, most generally students are familiar with it. Okay. Whereby you are putting the firstly, secondly, okay, first, second. So this one is something very common. All right. Next is illustrating. Illustrating means, as you see the words there, for example. This is also very common. Okay, but instead of using for example, you can also use cohesive device such as for instance, which also means the same thing. All right. Next, you have comparing. Okay, comparing. All right. Can I have a sample? An example, one sentence for comparing. If anyone would like to volunteer. Anyone comparing? Comparing? Anyone? Okay. Is comparing difficult?
Trying to come up with it on the spot right now.
Yeah.
Teacher, can I try with likewise?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Just water these plants twice a week and likewise the ones in the bedroom.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, that is comparing as well. Yeah. So likewise is used. So allow me to repeat again. You need to know the meaning of that particular cohesive device and make sure you use it correctly at the right place. Okay. Okay, next we move on to qualifying. All right, qualifying. So what does it mean? Okay, can I have an example? If anybody could share one example.
Teacher, can I try, however?
Yes, please. Please do.
If Emma likes something, she will buy it however much it costs.
Yes, however much it costs. Okay. So however, although, unless, as long as. So all that are some examples to qualify. All right. And next you have contrast. Yes, please. Yes.
I also have an example sentence. May I use as long as?
As long as, yes. Can you try?
Okay. As long as you put in the effort, you can achieve anything you set out to do.
Yes, very good. Yes, that's right. Okay, thank you very much for sharing that sentence. And I think that sentence is what all of you are doing now. Okay, trying very hard. Okay, now contrasting. Okay, so just now we compare, now we contrast. Okay, so compare and contrast. So comparing, you have a few sample cohesive devices. Now we look at contrast. Okay, is there any volunteers who would like to give me a sentence for contrast? Contrasting?
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes.
Can I try for nevertheless?
Yes, yes, please.
I knew a lot about the subject already, but her talk was interesting nevertheless.
Okay, nevertheless, yes. Thank you very much. Yes, that is contrasting. You know something, but at the same time, you find that the talk is also okay, interesting. Okay, so it's you say something and then you contrast it with something else. So contrasting, there are a few examples given there. Students enjoy using on the other hand. Okay, on the other hand, but you must also understand the use of on the other hand. The same for nevertheless and whereas. Okay, so these are a few examples of cohesive devices. There's quite a number out there. Okay, and let me remind you again, knowing it is one thing, but using it correctly at the right place is another thing. Okay, so please do more practice lah when it comes to cohesive devices. All right. Now, next is useful expressions. These are some of the phrases that you can use when you want to write. And the first one is to state your opinion. So when you want to state your opinion, here are a few examples of phrases that you can use. So anybody would like to try for opinion, to state your opinion?
Can I try, teacher?
Yes.
In my opinion, the famous online game now is Mobile Legends.
Okay, in my opinion, the most famous online game now is Mobile Legend. Okay, so you are stating your opinion. All right, so there's a few other examples there. Okay, next is to present arguments. So sometimes the essay question, it can be the pro and con. Okay, that means you are giving two sides. So, or sometimes you want to express your view. So to present an argument for one side. So if that is the question, then of course you would need to present arguments. Okay, and here are a few phrases as examples for you to guide you, to help you when you want to present an argument. So anybody here would like to give me maybe a sentence? I mean, to complete one of the sentences here?
Yeah, you might.
Okay, I have two. Okay, can one of you try first and then followed by the other candidate?
Please, Junior, go first.
Okay, Junior. Yes, Junior.
Sorry.
It's okay, no problem, Junior. You start and then your friend will get his chance after this. Yeah.
One important advantage of watching movie is it will help you to cope with stress.
Okay, thank you very much.
That's all.
Thank you, Junior. Okay, the friend who is it? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
Andrew.
Andrew, yes, Andrew, can you please share?
Many people are convinced that Mobile Legends is not the most popular game around.
Okay. All right. Okay, there seems to be some discrepancy. One say it's the most famous, and the other one, the other friend is saying it's not. Okay, yeah. Okay, is you are presenting an argument here, right? So many people are convinced that Mobile Legend is not the most famous online games. Yes. Okay. So that is thank you for sharing two sentences, which shows that you are presenting arguments. Okay, thank you. Okay, just now you are presenting arguments for. Now, these are a few phrases to present argument against. Okay, that means you are disagreeing. Okay, you are disagreeing. So, anyone would like to try? Disagreeing.
Teacher, can I try?
Yes, please do.
One major disadvantage of online shopping is there might be shipping problems and delays.
Yes. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, yes. All right, so one major disadvantages of online shopping. So maybe the question is asking you to talk about the pros and cons. So one of the cons of online shopping is there might be shipping problems and delays. Yes, okay.
Teacher, I also have an example.
Yes, please share.
So one of the major disadvantages of playing video games is that it may distract you from your studies.
Yeah, it may distract you from your studies. That's true as well. Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, now to add similar points. Okay, so this is also if you want to add on. Okay, you want to add on. So here are a few phrases or words that you can use to add. Okay, to add to your points, and to add contrasting points. That means you are saying you are giving a statement, and then you are saying you are adding with another contrasting statement. Okay, let's hear if anybody has a sample sentence. Okay, yes.
I want to go on a holiday, but on the other hand, I ought to be studying.
Okay, yes. Okay, so you want to go for a holiday, but on the other hand, you know that you have to study hard. So contrasting points there. Okay, you want to do this, but at the same time, this is also something that you need to do. So these are, I hope these are some helpful phrases for you that will help you to organize your essay better. All right. So here are a few, these are something very common. All right. Firstly, secondly, first of all, last but not least. Okay. This is to sequence your ideas. Okay, the first paragraph, the second paragraph. Okay, so this is quite common. We always see this in pupils' essays. All right. So introduce examples where is something that most of you do most of the time. And for example is something that is very commonly used. But there are other structures as well. For instance, such as namely, which you can also look into. Okay, and to conclude, that means the last paragraph, paragraph 4 or paragraph 5. To conclude, you have in conclusion. That is something that students love to use. But you can also say to sum up, all in all, on the whole, above all, as was previously stated. Okay, so here are some useful expressions which I hope will be able to help you. Okay, to plan your essay. All right, now let's move on to sentence structures. Okay, this is something that I will be very quick, okay, because we have quite a lot to cover, yeah? Okay, when we look at sentence structures, basically, if you remember earlier, I mentioned make sure you have simple, compound, and complex sentences, okay? So simple sentences are generally sentences that we usually write. Okay, for example, children prefer watching television. Okay, this is something that is very common. Children prefer watching television. She enjoys reading books. Okay, and then if you look at the last part, prepositional phrase, which is an add-on, okay, to what you are saying. Children prefer watching television at home. She enjoys reading books in the library. Okay, so there's only one main idea and one verb. Okay, so if you have the PTRS book with you, all right, you can refer to page 30. Okay, it gives a number of examples, good examples, along with explanation about simple sentence. Okay, simple sentences. All right. Okay. Next is compound. Mr. Eugene touched on fanboys just now. All right, so compound sentences, usually they have two complete ideas, but they are put together by either for, or, and, nor, but, or, yet, so lah. Right? So the examples are given here. We are planning to buy pencils and pens and pencils. So if you break them into two sentences, we are planning to buy pens. We are planning to buy pencils. But we don't want that. We want to put them as one. So we say we are planning to buy pens and pencils. All right. So the same goes for the second one. The boy did not like to eat carrot. Or you can say the boy did not like to eat carrot. He ate it anyway. So now we put them together as one. The boy did not like carrot, but he ate it anyway. Right? So again, if you refer to page 31 of your PTRS book, a few examples are given along with some exercises, which I think are very good to help you improve on your compound sentences. Okay, next we come to complex sentence. Okay, complex sentences. So here is an example. A complex sentence has two clauses, independent clause and dependent clause. Okay, an independent clause can stand on its own. So the maths test was very difficult, full stop. Okay, so it can stand on its own. However, if you look at the second part, nevertheless, she earned a good grade. That particular phrase cannot stand on its own. Something needs to be, at the beginning so that this sentence makes sense. So that is where the maths test was very difficult, comma, nevertheless, she earned a good grade. Okay, so here this is a sample of complex sentence. Okay, again, please look at, refer to your Tuition Rakyat Selangor PTRS book, page 32 to 33. There are also good examples along with exercises to help you. Right. When we talk about essay, we should remember that every paragraph needs to have some form of order. Okay, so that there's a flow, okay, to the whole essay. So when we talk about that, I think the topic sentence and also the controlling ideas is something that I need to highlight here today. The topic sentence tells your audience what the paragraph will be about. All right, and the controlling ideas gives elaboration and examples to support the topic sentence. So this makes, if you follow this burger, okay, I know it's I hope all of you have had your lunch. Yeah? So if you look at the burger gives you some form of explanation as to what it means to have by topic sentence and also the examples and also elaboration. Beginning, the topic sentence tells what the paragraph is about. The middle tells all the juicy details and give examples. And the conclusion tells the main idea again. So there's one example there. One of the reasons why teenagers enjoy playing online games is because it is an opportunity for them to relieve stress. So as a reader, okay, the reader will be expecting you to elaborate more. What do you mean by that? Okay, how does it work? Okay, so the first, the one that is highlighted in blue, that is what we call topic sentence, which means you are directing your reader that this is what I'm going to talk about in this paragraph. And then, according to Dr. Regan Medrick from the University of Ohio, online games are not just a mindless way to waste time, as it allows teenagers to connect with other people and work together towards a shared goal or complete in a friendly environment. Okay, so here I'm giving the details. Okay, I'm giving some details about why I say it relieves stress. And the one that is highlighted in green would be the conclusion for that paragraph. Okay, that paragraph, not that essay. So every paragraph, if you have this structure, it will help to make your essay more organized. Okay. Okay. So now for the example, I'm going to use the module Pintas Kata 5, which is your SPM trial paper, and I'm looking at the part 3. Okay, page 3. Okay, where the part 2 question is. Okay, so this is the question. So your class has been talking about electronic gadgets used during online classes. Your teacher has asked you to write an essay about it as your homework. In your essay, you should write about the best electronic gadget for online learning, the reasons for it, applications you need for online learning. Use all the notes above and give reasons for your point of view. Write your essay in 125 to 150 words in an appropriate style. Okay, when you get the question, the first thing you must do is, of course, read. After you read, you must highlight the key words. Okay? So I would like to have a volunteer to help me to highlight the key words. Anybody? Anyone?
Junyao has raised his hand.
Okay, Junyao, can you please?
Electronic gadgets is the keywords.
Okay, electronic gadgets. Okay, that's the first keyword. Okay, next.
Amirun has raised his hand.
Yes, okay.
During online classes.
During online classes. Okay, so you have to talk about electronic gadgets during online classes. Okay, so electronic gadgets is a keyword there. Online classes is a keyword there. Okay, next. Anything else? Okay.
Tanishwaran.
Tanishwaran, okay, Tanish.
The best electronic gadgets.
Okay, the best electronic gadget. In your essay, you should write about the best. So the first bullet asks you to talk about the best electronic gadget. Okay, anything else? Okay, yes?
Amirun, can go.
The reasons for it.
Okay, all right. Now, so, okay, thank you, Amirun. So you have mentioned the best electronic gadget, and then you have to give reasons for it. Okay, so you cannot just mere mention. You have to give reasons why. So the elaboration and examples will come here. Okay, any other keywords? Yes?
We have Damien and Ruhan Raj.
Okay, all right, okay.
Application that you need for online learning.
Okay, application. Okay, all right. Damien?
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing as well.
Okay,
Applications for online.
Okay, thank you, Damien. All right. Applications you need for online learning. So, students, when the first thing you must do is read. the next thing you must do is highlight. Okay, you must highlight. Okay, it is very important to highlight. Some pupils may think as they write, they can check, but it's better to highlight. Make sure that you know what you are going to write before you actually start writing. Okay, so this is thank you for to the students who shared the keywords just now. Yes, electronic gadgets is one of the keywords during online classes. It's a keyword. The best electronic gadget is one of the things that you must write, and the one is there because that is the first bullet that you must address, because you cannot straight away jump to 2 or 3 without addressing 1. So 1 must be addressed, and then you write 2, the reasons, and before you proceed to 3, applications. Okay, so right, let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so this is an example, a sample of the essay, and if you look below, the checklist is given there. All right, so can you read this and then tell me if all the and refer to the checklist below, and can you just tell me if this particular paragraph has addressed the checklist? That means, do you tick yes to all of it, or is there anything missing? What do you think? So can you read and tell me?
I would say that the introduction is relevant to the task.
Okay, all right. What about the other points? Do you think it has addressed, it had managed to hold your attention?
Yes, the first sentence itself is very interesting. It definitely caught my attention.
All right, okay. So, and it is, I think, I would say it's well organized. All right. What about the choice of words? What do you think?
It's pretty good. I would have used the same words too.
Okay, all right. And well, this one is slightly of a higher level, so it has compound sentences, it has complex sentences, and there's a usage of cohesive device there. Consequently, is there. All right. So that is one example of a cohesive device used in this particular paragraph. So this is one of the checklists that you can have. Okay, when you practice after this, as you do your essay, you can have this checklist to help you. All right, did I do this? Did I do this? Did I do this? So as you tick, it will build up your confidence, and you are on the right track, and your paragraphs are actually relevant to the question, and you are actually addressing it in a very organized way. Okay, and this is paragraph 2. Okay, so the same checklist is used. All right, but of course now is paragraph. Just now was the intro or paragraph 1. Okay, so now we move on to paragraph 2. So the same checklist is used, and I think now you can just quickly read what is on the screen. Okay, and then you can just tick on your own. Okay, so there are 3 main reasons. So you can read that very quickly before I give you paragraph 3. Okay. So here you see the first reason. Okay, so the first reason is given, and then a short elaboration is given. The first reason is it makes note-taking more efficient. So that is the point. Electronic note-taking is both faster and more flexible. So an elaboration is given. Okay, and then the second reason. So there's not much of examples or too much of elaboration is given there. All right, but it's short, precise, and concise. Okay, right. Now we move on to paragraph 3. Okay, so again, same checklist. Okay, but of course now we are looking at paragraph 3. Okay, right. Okay, and conclusion. Okay, so this is if you put all of it together, it will become one essay that is really connected. There's coherence, cohesive. There's cohesive and coherence is there. Okay, and everything is well intact, and it actually answers the question well. All right. Okay. Now, if you look at this book, Kupasan Mutu Jawapan SPM 2021, page 18, okay, these were some of the suggestions given to the students, which I would like to highlight today, which you can take note of, okay? So read and understand the question, which we did just now, and that is how, and that is one of the ways that you can go through. That is the process that you go through to answer part 2. Pay attention to the number of words, 125 to 150 words. Okay, make sure you write in paragraphs, introduction, body, and conclusion. So introduction, paragraph 1, body, paragraph 2 and 3, and then conclusion, paragraph 4, or introduction, paragraph 1, body, paragraph 2, 3, 4, and conclusion, paragraph 5. Okay? Make sure you pay attention to the task given in the question. Remember to respond to all the tasks in your essay. Remember just now, number 1, number 2, number 3, that is what is meant by the task. So make sure you respond to all of it. Okay? Use cohesive devices. Okay, examples have been given. You are given a few samples to follow. Make sure you use write using the right tone and read more materials on different themes. Okay? Right. Any question here? Yes?
Teacher, can we write more than 150 words?
Okay, can you write more than 150 words? Okay, this is a very common question. Can we write more? All right. Okay, you must remember the time, okay, given to you. It's a 1 hour and 30 minutes paper, and you have 3 parts. So if you pay too much attention to one part, automatically you are taking away the time for the following parts. So my advice to you would be, if possible, stick to the number of words given. You may add on a few more words, but don't go too much. Okay, maybe 150, 160, 170 maybe. Okay, don't go more than that, because if you spend too much time on this, then it will take up your time for the next part, which is part 3. Okay, all right. Yes.
All right, sorry about that. I just wanted to ask, Mr. Eugene mentioned that in part 1, it was an A2 level. So what is part 2?
Okay, what is part 2? All right, so if Mr. Eugene said part 1 is basically a form 1, form 2 level. So now we are looking at a form 2, form 3, form 4 level. Okay, right? So it's between A2 to B1. All right,
Okay.
so
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right. Any other questions here?
I've got a question.
Yes.
So let's say we're still within the time limit while
Yeah.
writing this part 2, right?
Mhm.
But then we just so happen to go over 150 words, like way over. Will any marks be minused, or how does it work?
All right. Okay. The good news is, we don't deduct marks. Okay, we don't do that. All right. So if you write 200 words, it's 200 words. Okay, but it's just that sometimes when you are pressed for time and you continue writing, there is a tendency to make mistakes. All right, and when that happens, it kind of affects your language mark, maybe. Okay, and maybe some maybe in terms of organization, because when you are pressed for time, sometimes what you write, the next paragraph may not really flow well. All right, so it does, we don't deduct marks, but yeah, okay, it can affect you in another way. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Welcome. All right. Any other questions here?
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes.
Can you explain the meaning of tone in writing?
Okay, tone in writing. Okay, Ruhan, I will explain it to you in the next slide. Okay. All right. Any other questions?
Excuse me, teacher.
Yeah.
Teacher, can you give us a few examples of themes?
Okay. All right. Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah. So the 2 last questions is actually in the next slide. So I will address them in the next slide. Yeah. Okay. Right now. Before I continue with tone, examples of low frequency cohesive devices. Okay. Now, what I mean by this is there are some cohesive devices that are not frequently used by candidates. Okay. So if you can use them in your part 2 and part 3, it would actually help. Okay, help in terms of your language mark. I am not saying it's going to add up too much of your mark, but it will help in terms of the whole essay. But of course, let me remind you again, knowing them is one thing. You must understand the meaning of these cohesive devices, and there's a number, many more out there. You must understand. I've been repeating this a few times. You must understand the meaning of it. What does it mean? And use it correctly. Okay, only then you will be able to get a good mark for the whole essay. All right, okay. When it comes to tone of writing, generally we have formal and informal. And essay, so far, part 2, I mean, not so far because it's only 1 year. In 2021, the essay, the language you use is formal language. So the tone must be formal. All right, tone here means the language that you use throughout the essay is formal. Okay, maybe for email, it can be informal because you are writing to somebody that you know, for example, your sister or your brother. So the tone can be informal. But when it comes to part 2, especially questions like your trial exam questions, then it would have to be formal. Okay, that is the meaning of tone in writing. So Ruhan, did I respond to your question? Okay, I hope I have. Okay.
Yes, you do.
Okay, thank you, Ruhan. Okay, now when it comes to themes, okay, these are the 4 themes. Okay, that you can see throughout. Okay, from 1 all the way to Form 5. Okay, so these are the basic themes that we have. Okay, and when it comes to examples, addressing Tanish's question just now, when it comes to people and culture, these are some of okay, the topics, the chapters that cover people and culture in Form 4 and Form 5. For health and environment, these are the questions, these are the chapters, and then science and technology you can see, and also consumerism and financial awareness. So, okay, so this is what I meant by the themes. Okay, right. So I have come to the end of part 2. Let me hand over the session back to Mr. Eugene to continue with part 3.
Thank you, Cikgu Najima. So well explained. Yes, okay. Just put this on. Okay. Okay. Good. So now we come to part 3. Now, part 3 is very, very simple. What you heard in part 1 plus what you heard in part 2 equals to part 3, meaning everything you heard from the very beginning, you must include in part 3. Okay, let's go through part 3 very, very quickly. A summary, okay, a summary of part 3. Okay, okay. Time management. Could someone explain to me the time management for part 3?
Yes, I would like to explain.
Okay, thank you, Damien.
Now, this time, part 3 is a B2 level, I believe. So we should spend more time, roughly around 45 minutes, give or take, on this one. And furthermore, there's actually 3 questions that we need to read and answer. Yeah, well, we pick 1, but we need to read 3. So we need to pick the one that we are most comfortable with. That's why we should allocate more time to this one section.
Spot on, Damien. Okay, so just recap. Part 3, you have 3 questions given to you. As Damien mentioned, choose one. But you need time to make your choice. And you can only make your choice if you read all 3 questions. Once you have read all the 3 questions, then you decide, is this for me? Do I have enough points to write for this question? Oh no, I'm not going to write a story. Story is not my genre. I will leave story out. I will choose between review and maybe an article. So you need time. That's why 45 minutes plus minus. Time to read your questions, understand it, make a choice, do your scribbles, your mind map, and then write it down. Thank you very much, Damien. Okay, so let's go on to the second focus, words. Anyone like to share about words?
Yes, please.
Okay, Andrew, yes, tell us.
For part 3, there is you write more words, so it's from It's about 200, 250 words, although most students like myself would tend to go over. But then, just like Miss Najima said just now, marks wouldn't be minus. But it's also good to keep track of time when you're writing part 3, because it takes longer time to write, obviously, 45 minutes. So yeah.
Yes, thank you, Andrew. Very good point. Yes. So as what was mentioned by Cik Najima and myself, part 1, about 15 minutes, part 2, 25 minutes plus minus, and we have 45 minutes here, 80 words for part 1, about 125 words, and then we have 200 words in part 3 here, 200, 250 words. Now, take note, in your exam booklet, space is given for you to write part 1, part 2, and part 3. Okay, so you must use the space wisely. Just say you write too much in part 2, and you will have to spill over to part 3. And it might be very confusing in SPM when they scan your exam papers. It's very difficult for the marker to find out where is this person going, where is the person's work. So stick to it. You will not be penalized if you write more than 250 words. For part 3, you are given about 3.5 pages to write. Go for it. Use that. From my marking experience, students have not reached that part yet. Okay, so you can still write. Thank you very much, Andrew. Let's move on to the next focus, paragraphs. Anyone?
I'll take this one.
Okay, Kyle.
Okay, for part 3 paragraph, as for paragraphs, you need to write in 4 to 5 paragraphs with 1 cohesive devices in each paragraph.
Yeah, at least one cohesive device. And thanks to Najima, she gave us a string of cohesive devices and she's explained it so well. So remember, try to put in linkers is very, very important, and try to put in at least 1 cohesive device in each paragraph. You can put more than 1, but make sure whatever you write must make sense. Okay, don't just memorize and put things there. Okay, and Cik Najima explained very clearly how you get your paragraphs. So always, introduction is your first paragraph, your topic sentence is there. Then you have 3 points given to you. You can either combine point 1 and point 2 as second paragraph, point 3 as the next paragraph, third paragraph, and coda or your conclusion as the fourth paragraph, or to be safe, introduction, first paragraph, each point 1 paragraph, and your coda, your conclusion as your 5th paragraph. That's how you get 5 paragraphs. Okay, very good. Let's move on.
Mr. Eugene, I have a question.
Yes.
So regarding this whole 1 cohesive device per paragraph, does this include our first and last paragraph?
You can, if you can fit in. Okay, but I feel that it's best to put in the cohesive devices for the 3 points given. Okay, whenever in doubt, leave it out. Remember that. If you're not sure, don't force yourself to put something there. Okay, never mind. Okay, so as long as you have cohesive devices, it makes sense. Your writing is so interesting. The examiner will not penalize you. Okay. Thank you. Good question, Damien. Good question.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Now, let's look at this example. This is an essay from your trial paper. Okay. Question number 3 in the first question in part 3, based on title is a song review. So the genre of this is a review. Now let's look at this very, very quickly. Okay. This is a student's work. Okay. It may not be perfect, but let's see. First question I want to ask you, check this. Did the student write in paragraphs?
Yes.
How many paragraphs?
5 paragraphs.
Okay, so paragraph come under which category? CAOL.
O.
Oh, under organization. Very good. Okay. Under O, cohesive devices. Did this candidate put in cohesive devices? Please look and tell me what cohesive devices are mentioned here.
I see moreover.
Okay, which paragraph? Which paragraph?
Moreover is on the third paragraph.
Okay, very good. Started off with moreover. Okay, very good.
And then there's besides that on the paragraph, the
Okay.
paragraph following that, yeah.
Good, correct. Anything else?
Furthermore, it's also in the third paragraph.
Okay, fine. Okay, good. Are there linkers in this essay? Remember the fanboys and simple words like that?
In paragraph 2, there was an N in the first line.
Okay, very good. Yes, okay. Okay, Miss Jasmine, would you like to add on something about this essay, the song review?
Okay, I would say the choice of words are good. When I read at first, I felt that this candidate, she or he has a good choice of words. So that's my first impression.
Okay.
Okay. And I think it's quite interesting the way she or he expressed her or his ideas. So this comes under CA?
Yes, correct. Yes.
Okay.
Under CA. Yes. Anything else?
That's all.
Yes. Okay. Miss Jasmine has brought a very good point. When I, as an examiner, am reading this, I'm enjoying it. I'm reading. But if I have to stop somewhere and say, what is she trying to say? Or what is he trying to say? And I reread this again, it has broken my train of thought. Your marks will come down a bit. There's no flow. The flow has been broken. You understand? But that's why it says use simple language is fine, as long as the examiner is enjoying reading it. Okay, very good point. Anything else you have to add to this? Okay, they have an introduction there. Very good. I think the student has written every point in one paragraph. Each point is one paragraph. Very good. And there's an ending to it as well. Okay. Yes, someone has said something. Yes, there's a question. Yes. Please proceed.
Puan Hilwana, did you put up your hand?
Yeah. All right. Sorry, I was muted. Okay. I have a question from YouTube here.
Yes.
Okay. It says, may we use bombastic words on part 3? Are they allowed to use bombastic? I'm not sure what is the meaning of what he means by that. Maybe you can explain a bit. Yeah.
Thank you. Damien, I'd like to bring this to you. Damien, what's the proper term of bombastic words? Please tell us.
All right. The proper term for bombastic words is actually a wide range of vocabulary, like I explained earlier in part 1.
Okay.
The thing is,
so very good. A wide range of vocabulary. Now, this wide range of vocabulary, or in inverted commas, bombastic, can be used in part 1 or part 2 or part 3. So it would actually help under your language mark. If you write really good words, different meaning, you can get up to 5 marks there. Compared to those who just write simple words, you may not get a 5 for part 3. The most you could get is a 3. I hope it answers the question, Puan Hilwana.
Mr. Eugene, if I may add.
Please do.
Okay. When we talk about bombastic word, the next thing we must remember is it relevant to the question? And I mean, does it make whatever they are trying to say clear, much clearer? Because there's no point of adding bombastic words if at the end of the day it doesn't serve its purpose, which is to respond to the question and also make the paragraph more interesting.
Very correct, Cik Najimah. I want to add on. As an examiner, if suddenly we find bombastic words which doesn't mean anything, we will know this child has just memorized these few words and is trying to fit in these words to look clever. Okay, but in the end, it's going to be a fall for that candidate. So please stick to what you know. Okay, as what Damien mentioned earlier, learn a few words which has a different meaning and try and fit in. Okay, but you must be familiar with your words. Yes, very good point. Thank you very much for the sharing. Any other comments about this? Any other questions, Puan Hilwana?
Okay, so far none. All right, no more question.
Okay, we're going to end soon, Puan Hilwana. Let's move on to the next. Having a pet is good for you. This was also taken from part 3, question number 2. So it's question number 5, actually, the second question in part 3. Okay, let's have a look at this. It's written by a candidate. First, let's check paragraphs. Let's check cohesive devices. Let's check linkers. Let's check, is there an elaboration, the CA? All these points are very, very important. Okay, so in the checklist, have a look. Okay, let's start off with paragraphs. How many paragraphs do you find in this written essay? Please share.
I found 5.
5, okay, fine. 5 is fine. Don't move on to 6. Okay, very good. Okay, what about cohesive devices?
I've seen in conclusion, I've seen in addition.
The second paragraph?
Second paragraph. They use personally.
First of all.
First of all, yeah, that too.
Can be connected as well too. Fine. So this child actually knows how to use this. Okay, can I ask Chetna or Miss Jasmine, want to add on to this?
Okay, maybe Naza, you can comment on this, the students' essay. Naza, are you there? Okay.
Yes, this is one of my so-called good students. So I award him high marks because he is very well-versed. He's very good at writing, actually. So I'm very proud of his essay this time around.
Yes.
Yes.
Just look at the first line. I like the second sentence. Are you feeling down in the dumps? I would call that as a bombastic phrase, actually, you know? Like, are you feeling sad? This is a different way of writing. Excellent, okay? Yeah. And the introduction written is like, I want to read more.
Yeah, actually the questioning strategy used. Yeah.
Yes.
So actually, it really attracts our attention.
It's very important. How
Yeah.
do you attract someone? Like, I'm sure boys and girls, you do something to attract the opposite sex, isn't it? Same thing for your writing. You must try to attract the examiner towards your writing as well. Okay, well written as well. Okay, those the one you can snapshot a picture. There could be some grammatical errors. Don't worry about it. But we're looking at the idea and the flow of this. Yeah, well done to the student. I would also give the student high marks too. Yes. Straight away, I can see the cohesive devices. So under O, I'm giving marks already, you know. Language, I'm giving marks already. So I'm just speed reading through now. Okay. Students, any comments about this writing, this essay? Please share. I like the last sentence the student wrote, you know? Yeah, it says there, in conclusion, even though I think dogs are the best, any pet will give you major mental benefits. If you have the means to take care of a pet properly, you should consider it. Otherwise, just get a pet rock. So humorous. I like it so much, you know? Yeah. It's like, okay, I want to give you language 5 already, you know, things like that. Yes. Okay, thank you. Okay, let's move on. Okay, there's nothing. So, students, you need to put yourselves in the shoes of the examiner. What are they looking for? Yes, they want to see content elaborated. They want to see if you have written your essay in the correct format. They are looking for linkers and cohesive devices. Make sure you have written your essay in 4 or 5 paragraphs. Finally, your writing must be interesting for the examiner to read, like the one just now, and for the examiner to understand. Now, if you follow all these points and whatever was told to you from 2:30 right up to now, A+ is already in your hands. So on behalf of all the teachers and pupils here, I wish all of you the best in your SPM examination. I hand over to Puan Hilwana.
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone, especially to Mr. Eugene, Ms. Najima, Puan Jasmi and Puan Hazalida. All right. Wonderful sharing from everyone. Even all the pupils have participated well. All right. And you have helped your friends out there actually to answer their doubts. Yes, some of their doubts regarding your paper 2. Okay. All right. So on behalf of PPD Petaling Utama, I would like to express our appreciation to all of you who have involved in this session. And we really hope that this session is helpful to all the SPM 2022 candidates. And lastly, from me, good luck on your coming SPM. All right. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Okay, let's take a picture together, everyone. Please smile. I want to take a picture. Smile. 4, 3, 2. Thumbs up, please, everyone. 3. Yes, A+ for SPM. 3, 2. Andrew is miss. Oh, 3, 2. Okay. Oh, you're coming together. Okay, one more. 3, 2. You're all in the same room. Okay. Okay, thank you, everyone. Puan Hilwana, back to you.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. So we end this now. All right. Thank you very much for your participation.
Okay. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye, teacher.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, teacher. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you for participating.